everyone, this is the time to update my Cattleyas. I must tell you that none is in bud or bloom at the moment. Some have bloomed previously already, and the others will bloom if and when they are ready. Anyhow, I believe most of them are doing as expected, so let's get to it. These ones you can see here were the very first Cattleyas I bought, and I have to thank them so much because they have stood all the experiences, and they have been through so much, and here they are, healthy and cooperative. These ones on these mounts, they were just one plant which I divided in order to be able to fit them, to fit better on the mounts. But they are doing so great. At one time they had no roots, but now not only they have good roots, they also have new growths. I hope they will bloom sometime soon. I have them for 2 years, and I bought them without flowers, so I never saw the blooms on these ones. But I like the growth habit. These are compact plants, and they have sturdy leaves that remind me of sophronitis. Maybe they have sophronitis in them. Anyway, they are no idea, but I like them, and I'm sure they will have lovely flowers. Let's proceed with these two ones here. These ones were rescues. I bought them as rescues, and they are very sturdy plants now with new roots, both of them. One of them bloomed for me in the meantime. It was this one. Had a beautiful flower, yellow flower with a pink tinge on the lip, as you can see on the photo, and now doing quite well. Beautiful roots and beautiful new growths. This is the last one. I hope she will bloom sometime soon. I remember that when it bloomed it was in January, so this might be a winter bloomer. This one never saw its flowers, never bloomed for me, but it has a very beautiful growth. I hope this one will bloom soon and make me a surprise. This the black spot, this black stain here, it's very long one. I don't remember if it is my doing or if it came like this. I don't remember anymore. Anyway, this is not mushy or anything, and so I don't worry about it. The leaves are quite good and sturdy, no signs of dehydration or anything. They are really resilient plants. And the last of my very first is this one. I bought it in bloom. It had beautiful yellow blooms with orange tinge on the lip, and this year it has grown lots of roots and these beautiful growths. I wonder, when will it bloom for me again? I'm anxious for that. Very nice plant too. set, I have here the seedlings my friend Teresa brought me as bag babies, and they've grown a lot in the winter and continued in the summer, and they've grown so many roots. I had to put them in these larger pots, and they are doing just great. Sturdy leaves, new roots. This one here, it has a very nice new growth. You have the name here. This one is this, same as this one. They both have very nice roots, nice new growth here, and very nice new growth there. They grew a lot. They are about 3 times as bigger as they were when they came to me last summer. This is the 4th of the Cattleyas, and I thought I was going to lose this one. It split into 3 pieces, and they were very stubborn during winter. Then I decided to place this one in a slab of root fern, and I've placed some moss in here for extra humidity. And apart from the new growth that grew in the winter, she's putting a new growth now. But the good thing is that the roots that were not being able to develop, they are developing now, and so it has at least a pair of 3 good roots, and so I'm happy with these babies here. I don't know how long it will take to give me flowers, but as long as they have roots, I'm very, very happy. Next set is a group of 3 true miniature orchids I bought rootless last year, and this one is doing amazing. It has lots of new fleshy roots under the moss, and it has this beautiful growth, and this one also came before that, and the plant is so much bigger. This is a swamp plant from Brazil, and her name is Laelia pumila. This is the best behaved of the 3. I'm not very happy with these 2. This is, you have the name there, it's a natural cross, and this one bloomed last winter in February. And after blooming, I thought there was something, I felt something was not good with the plant. So I looked under the moss. By then it was on a mount, and I saw that the roots had gone. And so I decided to put it in this basket. By the way, this plant looks much smaller now, which is no wonder, because when I took it from the mount, it split into 3. There were, in fact, 3 plants there. I gave the 2 smaller ones, kept this larger one for myself. So now it's in this mesh pot with orchiata bark, with just a small layer of moss on top for extra humidity. Not to forget, I have some information here for myself. It says watering all year round, never dry out, highlight, and so maybe in the mount, although I water my mounts every day, maybe it didn't have enough humidity in the mount when spring arrived and temperatures got higher. So I hope here it will pick up, because it has a new growth there as far as I can see. So I hope she will pick up. This is another one I bought, rootless. This is Laelia lucasiana. It's also a Brazilian species. It's being very difficult. She never had very good roots, but the fact is that she's grown a lot. And she was on a mount, but now she started to give me signs of dehydration, although she grew these two new growths. So I decided to take it from the mount and put it in the same method, or get the bark underneath, small layer of moss. And the instructions I have here for myself says bright light, water while growing, and it's a litophyte, grows on the mountains, so it's a cool grower, and it needs full exposure, or at least it grows with full exposure. So I don't know what's wrong with it, although I read this is very difficult to grow roots. But you're going to grow roots, little lady. You hear me? I like it, so you have to make it. Now I have here a group of Cattleyas I bought this summer. This one is Cattleya, Love Not Blue Star. This is quite small and so cute, but it's not a miniature, I suppose. She will grow larger. And I will certainly have to put it on a larger mount by sticking this piece on a large slab, because the roots love this cork, and they are all attached and embedded in the cork. It's a nice little thing. I don't know how much it will grow, but I like it. This is a potinara I got from Orchid Garden, more dead than alive. It were 3 pieces, very small pieces in the same pot, completely wet and without roots. Then I decided to put them here on this mount with some moss and some cocoa fibers behind, just to make it more comfortable, like a little bed. And they picked up, all of them, especially this one on the left. This is potinara with a long name. It is supposed to have very beautiful orange and yellow flowers. quite well, these ones, which is good. Now I have here my Brassavola tuberculata, came in a pot, and when I took a pic, I realized there were 2 plants in the same pot. And it's doing well. It's the roots are attaching. There's one new growth here, new growth there. There are several new roots down here mixed with the older ones. Well, happy with that. I guess it must grow a lot more before she gives me flowers. Then here I have let me see, what is the tag? This is Brasso Cattleya Hippodamia. It's in a bed of cocoa fibers, and that's it. I took the moss because I wanted to see how the roots were, never put it back, and looks like she's doing much better like that. I thought this was a highlight species, but it's not, because can you see these tinges here? All the leaves were darker than this when I bought it, but then I put it in a shadier place, and the leaves are getting more beautiful, and the plant seemed to have liked it. Know your plants. This one is let me show you the name, Brassavola Little Star. This was just a cutting, I suppose, and I have it in this little bed of cocoa fibers, which does not keep any water at all. It is just to make it more comfortable. And this plant took some time to pick up, but it has a new growth there, and some new roots just beneath this. She didn't find these cocoa fibers were needed. These are the older roots. They are sturdy and viable. So these were my latest ones, but I still have another one. Let me pick it up. Let me show you this one, which is, show you the tag. For a change, these were also 2 plants in a pot, and I decided to keep it in a pot as well, although I changed the medium because it came in moss, just moss. I decided to keep this in the pot, but with orchid bark. And then what happened is that the pieces, when I watered, I like to submerge the pots. Everything floated. So I decided to mount the chimney cricket on this grid and attach the grid to the pot. And the fact is that she liked it. See? Can you see how it's growing? Rufus. My dog is very excited with the other dogs barking at a distance. They must have some kind of language. Anyway, this is doing well. New growth here, new growth there, and new roots, and the plant has grown so much. It is in this pot, but I keep it hanging in a highlight position over there. That's where I keep it, and she enjoys it. Let me see what else I have to show you. This one you know already. It's the little Cattleya with the pink flowers I bought recently. I am sure that the older roots that were so plump and viable are drying up inside the pot, although the roots were accustomed to bark. Still, with the change, I see them getting dried up, but I'm not worried about it because they have this plant has lots of new growths. The new growths are providing the plant with a good new set of roots. So that is why we should wait to repot when we have a backup. Very nice plant. And now here I have my Laelia purpurata variety semi-alba, like you can see here on the tag. It's a nice plant. It had a new growth when I bought it, but for some reason the new growth broke. I don't know how it happened, but maybe I watered it and it was not strong enough to hold some extra humidity. But the plant grew lots of new roots even without the new growth, which are these ones here. They turned darker, and now in the spring it pushed up a new growth which is already quite big, and it's putting new roots there. But it is a good plant. It's a blooming size. As you can see, it has bloomed before, not for me, bloomed in the shop, and I'm keeping it here in highlight. Another one, this one I bought in August last year. It's a no ID Cattleya, but the blooms were so beautiful and big, and this plant had beautiful roots, which I believe most of them are not viable anymore, but it grew a lot more in my care. And this is kind of a funny plant because it does not have a creeping rhizome like others do. Like for instance, this one has a creeping rhizome, this one sort of sprouts, sort of grows around itself. After I bought it, she grew 2 new growths. One of them flowered in the winter. And after that, she grew this one. And where is the other one? This one. This one here. So that one over there and this one here. And at the same time, it's growing lots of new roots. And look here, there's another new growth. And still another one. Where is it? Oh, this side. So there's one here, the other one there. So in total, after I bought it in August last year, she has put on 6 new growths. 2 when she came, the 2 that are half grown, and these 2 that are now starting. And all of that all around herself. The thing is, I'm having a bit of a problem because I can see some leaves that are sort of dehydrated, and I don't know why. I suspect this is the reason. These leaves are very heavy, that's why I have these stakes to hold them. But look here, the leaves have the tendency of falling down, and they break at this point. For instance, this one is sort of dried up there at the place where it broke, and maybe she's not being hydrated. The newer leaves are okay, so I think that is the reason why it happens, and that is the reason why now I stake all the new growths. They are tied up to avoid that. The leaves even break halfway with the weight. It's a very beautiful plant, but with so much growing, I don't think I will have flowers this August. Okay, that's good anyway. Look at those roots. Yeah, aren't they amazing? Absolutely amazing. This is the result of a mistake I made for lack of some experience, I'm sorry to say. This is one of the divisions Corina from Fifi's channel sent me from her own Cattleyas last year. You can see the name on the tag now. I got this one last summer. It grew a new pseudobulb and grew some roots, but they were not enough when she decided to bloom last winter. My mistake was letting her bloom, as she was not strong enough. Now I know that, but back then I did not think properly. I was only happy to see her blooms. As a consequence, the pseudobulbs shriveled terribly, and she's having great difficulty in feeding this new growth there. She's on a mounted on this root fern slab, with moss over the few roots she still has. Hopefully she will make it. I certainly learned my lesson, that's for sure. I saved these 2 Cattleyas for last for a special reason. Can you see what is in common with these 2 orchids? the pseudobulbs are leaning to the side on both orchids, and that is what I did, and I did it to correct the position of the new pseudobulbs, as we will see. Let's see this one first. This is the other Cattleya Corina sent me last year. This one is doing absolutely great. She's mounted on a grid, which is tied to the sides of the mesh pot so that she feels secure. The plant is growing beautiful roots and has several beautiful new growths too, although they are still small, but this is not very large plant. These are the older pseudobulbs and leaves, and I have placed them leaning forward to correct the plant's original growth, allowing the rhizome to grow horizontally, leveled with the medium. The new growths are already beginning to orient themselves properly upright, which is the perfect position to root directly into the fresh medium. This other Cattleya is it bloomed with this beautiful flower when I bought this plant last summer. The growth habit of this plant also needed to be corrected. At this point, if we put the pseudobulbs straight up, the rhizome will have to be buried in the medium along with the older pseudobulbs, and that may cause their rotting. The rhizomes on Cattleyas should never be buried, so I decided to level the rhizome with the potting medium. The new pseudobulbs will correct their position in time and will grow upright. If that is not corrected, the newest growths will have the tendency to climb up and grow above the mix, which is quite unsightly. Well, this is all in what concerns my Cattleyas so far. I intend to get more in time because I love them, but I am being very selective now, so I'm waiting for what I like. And in the meantime, there is so much to be learned and understood. Most of it comes from own experience, and these babies are my test laboratory for the time being. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.